remember the nursery rhymes, the five magic words? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but let me refresh your memory. There are five magic words. There are five magic words. There are five magic words you should know. Sorry, thank you, please excuse me, and the last one, pardon me. Now, as simple as interesting as these rhymes were, they were actually teaching us and shaping our character. They were molding the shape or the content of our character. Now, today we'll be talking so much about kindness and humility, and these are one of the words or one of the components of the five magic words. You're welcome to this exciting episode of Finding Love. I am Grace Renner. Finding Love is a relationship and marriage show that instills the right foundation for marriage with the understanding that marriage is God's idea. It is a relationship, it is a useful insight for anyone who is ready for the journey of marriage and desires to do it with the Creator has designed it. Please, if you're new on this channel, subscribe to my channel. If you have been a regular and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so whenever I upload a video, you would get a notification or a prompt to watch it. And then like it, share it, just support my video as much as you can. Thank you very much. I'll be right back. You're welcome back, guys. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we started a new series titled Lessons from Ruth and Boaz with the subtitle Character Traits to Look Out For in a Life Partner. Now, the first week we talked about unconditional love and value for relationships. And last week we talked about, flexibility. And this week we'll be talking about someone who is humble and kind as a character trait to look out for in a life partner. So talking about someone who is humble and kind, we've been using the book of Ruth and Boaz as a story as our standard for character traits. Now we could see, if you go through the book of Ruth from beginning to the end, you could see Boaz and Ruth portray humility and kindness in different aspects. Now, starting with Ruth was humble enough to step out of her comfort zone to go and pick grains behind the reapers. She didn't mind that, where she was coming from, she was someone's wife, she was being provided for, she was whoever she was. But she dropped all that aside and went to pick up grains behind the reapers. Boaz, on the other hand, he was described in the Bible as a mighty man of wealth. Now, he had the means to have gotten married to Ruth and, taking good care of her. But guess what? He felt the need to be humble enough to do it the right way. He first went to the person who he felt was older, who, was supposed to first make that decision before he took that decision. Now, we'll be looking at Ruth and Boaz a lot today. So let me start by reading from the book of Ruth 2 verse 2. Let's read together, or read from here. It says, one day Ruth said to Naomi, perhaps I can go out into the field of some kind man to glean the free grain behind his reapers. And Naomi said, all right, dear daughter, go ahead. It is important that you get married to someone, look towards getting married to someone who is humble and kind. A lot of the times, let me even focus on humility for a while. A lot of the times we suffer because of pride. Because sometimes we look at our pedigree, we look at what we have achieved, and we do not see the need to come down to a certain level to be able to achieve some more things, because we feel that at the level that we are, we're better than certain people. Now such things only make you suffer, because the things that you need might be in the hands of someone else, might be in the hands of someone who you deem lesser than you. Okay, so still talking about Ruth, like I said before, Ruth was humble enough to go pick up grains from the reapers. If not, she would have suffered. A lot of the times we suffer lack because we are proud. Now, for instance, maybe you finished with a first class degree and maybe you were working somewhere before and you lost your job. You have a family. Instead of you to go and get something else doing, you'll be looking at, this thing is beneath me. And guess what? Your family is suffering, or you are dating a guy and maybe he got laid off from his work and he has a car. Instead of just waiting, for another big job, which he might be pursuing, and just staying idle. It is important that maybe he can even do an Uber business. It's important that he finds his hand doing something, whether the job is lesser than him or whatever. But let him find his hands. Let him get busy with his hands. Let him get busy doing something. Now, one of the things that any single person should look out for in a life partner, apart from being humble, is the hunger or the drive to be more. It's extremely important, and you see this in little ways. How they react when they lose things that are precious to them. Maybe they lose a job. Do they just sit down there and wait for something else, or do they just get busy until that something else comes? So it's very, very important, so that you do not suffer, family does not suffer. you know and maybe as a lady, maybe you have just finished from school and you're waiting for a job. You can get busy, you can go and learn a trade, you can learn maybe baking, you can learn fashion designing, learn something. No matter how low you feel it is, it just might be useful for you as you advance in life. Because at some point you might not be able to do corporate jobs anymore, maybe because you're pregnant or you've just put to birth and you intend to focus on your children for a while. It is those small, small things that you have learned or you have allowed yourself get involved in that might come in handy. That you might be able to engage in as time goes on, when you can no longer, have like a regular 9 to 5 corporate job. So it's important that you're humble. It's important that you look out for this character trait. So how do we rate, or how do we know someone who is humble? How can you tell that a person is humble? Number one, how they rate themselves, how they talk about themselves. Do they talk about themselves with so much, are they self-centered? Do they, overhype themselves? Are they there's this word self-conceited? Are they do they consider themselves so highly? That's a sign that they're not humble. Number two, how do they rate other people? How do they talk about other people? Are they condescending? Are they disrespectful? Do they look down on other people? Do they talk down on other people? Anybody that talks down on other people, looks down on other people or underrates people, that's a sign that they are not humble. Number three, how they treat or talk about their work. I mean, you be with some people and all they do is complain and complain. Eh, my boss, I'm even older than him. Every time he will just come and be doing this and doing that. Or so because I'm driving Uber business now, this or that one. There was a day recently. Okay, we took our car to the mechanic and we took an Uber. So he wasn't supposed to park somewhere, and then he went and parked there. This was a government property. He was supposed to pay. We had to park there. So the security guys came and then they were like, why did you park here? He said he actually parked there, that he wanted to buy something at the pharmacy there, which was a lie. Then he told my husband, he now said, that my husband is his uncle, that he saw his uncle. He now said, let him leave the medicine and carry. No, it was just a complicated liar. Anyway, so after he finished lying, he now told my husband, sorry, Oga, say I use your name, lie, now wow, this is our Uber business now. So now Uber don't turn condescending job. The manner in which he said it, the security guys didn't mean, they were not condescending in any way. They just were after their money, their 200 naira that they would have collected that you packed. They didn't really care what you were driving or what business you were doing. They were just concerned that if you didn't come to buy something, then you should pay for parking. But then he overread the situation and said, now it's now treated as a condescending. When he said it, I was like, Uber. What's condescending about Uber? I mean, you're making your money. They're making their money. Everybody's making money, So see how people treat their work, how they refer to their work. Some people cannot just stop complaining about a colleague that is younger than them, that they feel, maybe because the person finished first class and I didn't do my second degree, and that's why they put the person above me. They won't just stop at it. So it's important. You can actually tell this person is not humble. So how they treat their work, how they look at their work, shows you, if they're humble. Number four, how flexible they are with making money. How flexible they are with making money will actually, key you into knowing if they're humble. Some people do not know how to do anything. I've even said it before, anything that is lesser than their, I talked about in my previous episode a lady that made my hair. She works as a hairstylist. She works as a teacher. She's also a student. Some people would even be selling jewelries in the school to add to to that. They're flexible. They won't just sit down there and stick with one job. Oh, I work in another company. That's it. They won't do that. They will, you know, spread their hands all over. My husband always says this Yoruba word. He says "onokon waja," meaning it's not only one road that leads to the market. Anybody who is not humble enough, to try to be flexible enough to get other things doing, if they lose that one thing, trust me, you as a wife or a partner or potential partner might suffer because their minds are not tuned towards getting something else. All they're thinking is, oh, my degree, so since I am a lawyer now, I have to get work in a law firm. If it's not a law firm, then maybe I have to now, it's that's all they're thinking. They're not flexible enough in terms of wanting to make money. Number five way to know a humble person is through their curiosity and willingness to learn, through them being teachable. Someone who is unteachable is a proud person. Someone who is not willing, who doesn't see other people as fit to teach them anything, or if they feel that they can't learn from someone, maybe because they have attained a certain level of knowledge or something, they just feel that somebody cannot teach them. They know so much. This is a sign that this person is proud. Now, children are known to be curious, to be willing to learn, and children are usually, Bible says that we should be like children because children are humble. So when someone shows the willingness to learn, when they're curious about gaining knowledge and things like that, and they are open to being teachable, they're open to accepting correction, open to being shown how to do certain things that they might not know how to do, it's a sign that they are humble. Number six way to know a person who is humble is how they listen and take other people's opinions and suggestions. That is quite similar to being teachable, but this is different in the sense that, you are open to people's opinions. Yes, you have your own opinion, but you're open. You want to hear what another person thinks, what they can suggest. Maybe you have a project and, ideas are flying in. How open are you? How open are they to taking these suggestions, to these people's opinions? How do they rate other people's opinions? Let me give you a personal example. I dated someone one time, an engineer, and you know I knew when he got the contract, so I was with him throughout. He was fixing the road and everything, but I noticed it was too slow, and it was my car that he was using to go to work, and so it deprived me of being able to run my own personal things. Now, the reason I felt it was too slow wasn't because he was using my car, but because honestly I felt that he could have achieved more. Plus, the weather was changing in the sense that we're getting towards rainy season. He started this job like maybe January or December the previous year, and we had started going, and we're getting towards April. Now, anybody that knows about construction, I do not know so much, but I know that I don't see people trying to construct road when the rain is falling, because no matter the cement you put, the rain will wash it away. So from my own small knowledge, I said to him, I said, see, I don't think you're doing this work fast. We're getting towards raining season. I think you should hasten up this work, so that you won't keep spending money and spending money, and then the rain is gonna wash it out. And then you know what he told me? He said, your opinion is invalid. Bang bang. When I heard that in the car, I'm like, hey. The reason he said that was because he felt he is the engineer. He is the one that's, is doing the work. He knows. He just felt that I wasn't making any sense. So he said to me, your opinion is invalid. Maybe he was in a bad mood, or maybe he had waited and felt that, what can I tell him? But you see, I was right. Because guess what? He continued the work, June, July. He used August. Rain will beat him. Today his workers will come to work. They will say, oh guys, it's raining, and you will have to take care of them and give them their transport and pay them. So it made him, he spent much more than he budgeted for the job. Okay, so sometimes you can actually tell a humble person by how open and receptive they are of other people's opinions. Number seven, how they manage embarrassing and challenging situations. Now, one of the things I've come to notice is that proud people easily become embarrassed. Every little thing embarrasses them because somewhere in their minds, their ego is affected. So every little thing, even when it has to do with somebody else, they can get embarrassed on the person's behalf. Okay, I just remembered an example. I went for a 50th birthday party recently, and there was this chubby guy that was dancing with the celebrant. He was really dancing. I was really feeling the guy. I even tapped my husband. I was like, I see that guy. He was really, really dancing. He did all the raining dances and everything. Then there was a guy on my table, well dressed with his suit and everything. And then there was a guy beside him. So that one was the one beside him was actually enjoying it and tapped him and said, see. And then you should have seen how the other one reacted. He just had this look of disdain. As in, he was so embarrassed on the guy's behalf. And this was a guy that was having fun. I was enjoying it. Like, he stole that moment. But this guy that felt he was better off, this guy that felt, maybe why should a man be dancing so much? Or maybe why should a person, be dancing so much? Or whatever it was that he was thinking in his head, just made him to have so much, look of disdain in his face. I was telling my husband, I said, look at this guy. See the way he reacted over that guy that was dancing. So he was embarrassed on the guy's behalf. And I noticed that proud people easily get embarrassed. So if you're dating someone or you're looking to date someone and you notice that the tiniest things, little things just make them feel embarrassed. Not that they're shy. It's a difference between being shy and then small thing make you shy and then you're embarrassed. No, this one, you can tell that, it's about their personality, it's about how they see themselves, it's about, how the other person, is carrying themselves, and then they're embarrassed on the person's behalf. Number 8 sign to know if someone is humble is this: do they admit to being wrong? Do they take responsibility for their mistakes? There are some people that no matter what they do, it is always the other person's fault. They are so proud to admit that, they have wronged you somewhere or they didn't do right in something. They tend to shift the blame. They tend to take themselves out of it because they are so proud. So someone who is humble will easily take responsibility for their mistakes. Someone who is humble will easily apologize for their mistakes. So look out for it. If you're with someone and they find it difficult to apologize, it's just a sign that they are not humble, or they do not take responsibility. They easily just shift the blame or look for a way to dodge from being responsible for a certain action that they were involved in. It's a sign that they are not humble. Now, finally, another way to know a person who is not humble is if they're not able to say thank you. A person who finds it difficult to be grateful, to say thank you, is not humble. It means that some way, somehow they're entitled. They feel that, everybody owes them something. Whoever it is that they come in contact with, owes them something. They always feel like other people are privileged to do things for them or to give them something. And guess what? Whatever you do for them will never be enough for them to say thank you. They would never ever see, it's never enough. Like, you can never really ever please them. So this is a sign that this person is not humble. When someone does something for you, it's important that you say thank you. A lot of marriages are going through a lot of crisis because someone somewhere amongst them finds it difficult to appreciate the partner, to say thank you, to be grateful for gestures, from the partner. Okay, so we have just talked on humility so much. We've touched on humility. We've talked about, what it means to be humble and how to identify a person who is humble. Now, we're supposed to talk about humility and kindness, but I do not want the video to be so long. So let me put an end to it right here. On our next episode, it will have to be a part 2. We'll talk about the kindness aspect of, what to look out for in terms of kindness, in a person whom you're considering as a life partner. Okay, so let me stop here. I'll see you again next week. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, like, and share this video. I remain Grace Renner. See you next time. Lest I forget, I have just opened or started a prayer group for anyone who is single and believing God for a life partner, or who is married and wants to pray for the health of their marriage, or who is a parent and wants to pray for their child's future or current. Okay, so if you're interested in corporate prayers, please WhatsApp me via the number on your screen. Send me a message saying, hi, I'm interested in joining the prayer group. Now, you can tell me your name and if you're single or whatever, but it's important that you let me know exactly why you're messaging me so that I can add you to the group. Okay, thank you so much for watching.